12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. Hope you slept well last night or had a good overnight shift. It's Tuesday, April 30th, last day of the month.
Yes, we hope you had a wonderful April. It went by pretty quick for us, I think.
Well, Fiesta definitely sped things up for us, right?
It did. I was like the eclipse and then Fiesta and then it's gone.
That's absolutely right. Mike Osterhage is here. And Mike, you said that the humidity is like a house guest?
That doesn't know when to leave.
Oh, yes.
Just kind of hangs out.
I saw that on social media this morning. I thought that was pretty good.
Can you pick up more milk? And all. But anyway, we did get a little bit of a break in the humidity yesterday afternoon. Dew points dropped ever so slightly, but they are back up and they are going to be staying up. 72 degrees right now. So once again, we're 10 degrees above normal. And that bottom number, dew point of 70, a bunch of humidity. 88 high temperature today. We did hit 90 yesterday. A lot more sunshine. I think we keep a few more clouds around, but still we are going to be on the warm side of things, and then of course factor in that humidity. As far as the aquifer, yesterday's reading went up 0.7 of a foot. Nice from all that rain that we had earlier in the weekend. Mold is on the high side thanks to all that moisture hanging around here. A little bit of fog is trying to form up. We don't have a lot of it right now. 7 miles there at New Braunfels, also at Gonzales, and then 5 miles visibility up the road in Kerrville. But of course, the morning is still young. A lot of it likes to thicken up as we get it later on in the morning commute, obviously, and towards sunrise. And temperatures about the same as what they were yesterday, maybe up a bit more. We had a few 60s in the hill country at this time yesterday, and dew point temperatures remain very, very high around here, of course. More clouds, like I said, upper 80s. And of course, all that wonderful. If you're a humidity lover, you're going to love this forecast. Tomorrow and Thursday, we'll start off the same. Then we'll have some showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon tomorrow. Some of those may be on the strong, potentially severe side tomorrow. The atmosphere is pretty volatile around here, very kind of ripe, if you will. And that's why we'll still keep a stray shower in the forecast, even Friday, maybe Saturday. But it's going to start to get hotter and even hotter going into next week. And of course, yes, still very humid. We are looking at some summertime temperatures going into next week. Again, if you like the hot and humid, you love the forecast. For the rest of us, Traffic Authority, RJ Marquez, what's going on, sir?
Not I. It was sticky yesterday. I was driving around town around noon already. I was like, I cannot believe we are here, but we are. We'll continue. Check out that. Thank you very much, Mike. All right, flashing lights, not a great sign to start our Tuesday morning out here for our drivers on the southwest side. So if you live around the Lackland area, maybe headed out to Lackland Air Force Base, getting work started a little bit early, or just have to be out in that area, keep this in mind because we have got a crash on the access road there, Loop 410 southbound. This is at Old Pearsall Road. So the camera that we're looking at is this one that's a little bit further up the road at Ray Ellison Drive. But again, Loop 410 at Old Pearsall Road. We had a crash on the access road. Let's explain exactly what happened out there. Apparently a driver struck a utility pole in that area, knocking out power to a lot of customers in this area. So again, Loop 410 southbound, the access road at Old Pearsall Road. Right now, we are seeing traffic get through the main lanes, but again, it looks like at some point they may actually close this exit to get to Old Pearsall Road from Ray Ellison Boulevard. So again, this is going to be affecting a lot of our drivers in the Lackland area, maybe the Medina Base Road area. Keep that one in mind if you're coming in through that part of 410. The other thing we're seeing right now is a stalled vehicle being reported on the northeast side, I-35 southbound at O'Connor Road. As we take a look at our maps here, we still have a lot of ongoing construction here for the Northeast Expansion Project stretching from Judson up to Tupperwine Road. But again, biggest thing we're seeing at the moment right now, car struck a utility pole, knocking out power to this neighborhood right there at Loop 410, the access road right there at Old Pearsall Road. We will continue to follow the very latest and give you guys more updates as we get them. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
RJ, thank you very much. New this morning, San Antonio police say a woman is in serious condition after she was hit by a possible drunk driver while in a Walmart parking lot. Happened around 11 last night near 410 and Rigsby. Police say the woman was either getting off of work or going on a break when a driver hit her in a pickup area of the parking lot. SAPD says the driver was arrested on suspicion of DWI. The woman was taken to a hospital.
This morning, the Texas Rangers are investigating a shooting in Converse. The man is dead and 2 others are in the hospital after a multi-county chase turned into that shooting. Well, it ended in Converse yesterday near the Kitty Hawk Road and FM 78 exits. DPS says it started when troopers tried to pull over a 38-year-old driver in Comal County. They say that driver did not stop sped off and crashed into a truck. State troopers say they tried to tase that suspect, and when that didn't work, they shot him. The suspect died. Now, a woman riding with him was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Another woman from the truck that was crashed into was also taken to the hospital.
Today, Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board investigators will arrive in Comal County to get a closer look at that helicopter that crashed onto a residential street.
It happened yesterday on Lantana Ridge. That is a road in Comal County between Spring Branch Road and Highway 281. The Hummingbird 260 helicopter went down just after 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. The 2 men inside died. Investigators have not told us the victims' names yet. Right now, they're trying to figure out how that crash happened. Well, a Bexar County jury awards $81 million to the family of a woman who was killed by a deputy U.S. Marshal who was driving drunk. The attorneys for Cowan's family called the jury decision a landmark verdict. On January 31st, 2020, San Antonio police say Jonathan Jones was driving the wrong way on Loop 1604 at Babcock and crashed head-on into 23-year-old Taylor McCowan's sedan. The 23-year-old woman died from her injuries weeks later. Jones was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 11 and a half years in prison. Today is your last day to vote early for the May 4th municipal election. Your vote will determine multiple bond issues and races. The polls are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and we have a sample ballot and a list of places where you can vote on our website at KSAT.com.
Texas is now suing the Biden administration to block expanded Title IX protections for LGBTQ plus students. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says the U.S. Department of Education overstepped its authority by expanding the scope of the landmark anti-sex discrimination law. If nothing happens, it would take effect in August. The lawsuit claims the Biden administration violated federal rulemaking procedures in the process of issuing the new rule.
In North Carolina, 4 members of law enforcement were shot and killed and 4 others were wounded while they attempted to serve 2 warrants in Charlotte. The U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force was serving active felony warrants when the suspect began firing, striking multiple officers. Seeing that suspect as an imminent deadly threat, officers then shot and killed him at the scene. Now, after the shooting, the mayor of Charlotte says she heard from the White House, along with several members of Congress and state officials, all offering their support.
The pressure is growing for Israel and Hamas to agree to a ceasefire deal that would release more hostages.
As ABC's Christian Cordero reports, a new proposal would provide a 40-day truce and bring dozens of people home.
Meetings with mediators in the Middle East today has led to one urgent message to Hamas from the Biden administration. Take Israel's latest deal. The proposal, a 40-day pause in fighting combined with the release of potentially thousands of Palestinian prisoners, according to a top British official. In exchange, according to the New York Times, Israel has dropped its previous demand of 40 hostages and is now willing to accept 33. Pressure has grown in the days since Hamas released new videos showing hostages speaking under duress, including Israeli-American Keith Siegel. His daughter is demanding a deal.
Stop the talking and start the actions.
Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is in Israel today following meetings with Arab leaders in the region. There, he categorized the latest ceasefire proposal as extraordinarily generous for Hamas, reiterated support for Israel, and called on an end to civilian casualties in Gaza.
What we're seeing in my own country and in the region and many other places reflects the deep emotions, the profound feelings that many people have at the suffering that so many people are enduring.
Those emotions still running high on campuses nationwide, from San Antonio
the people united will never be defeated
to Seattle.
We're staying out here until they make a change, until they divest.
Some universities have called in police to make arrests, with demonstrations ranging from sit-ins to anti-Semitic hate speech. Columbia University in New York announced it started suspending students who refused to abide by a Monday deadline to vacate. Columbia says it won't divest from companies with ties to Israel, instead offering to invest in health and education in Gaza. Commencement is scheduled to go on as planned. Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
On a sports note this morning, Victor Wembanyama, representing the NBA in France, is a bit of a no-brainer. The Spurs have announced that they will play 2 regular season games in Paris next season. It's part of the so-called NBA Paris Games 2025. They'll face the Pacers on January 23rd and 25th. The NBA Paris Games 2025 will mark the Spurs' 4th and 5th games in France, having previously played 2 games in Paris back in 03 and 06 and 1 in Lyon, France in 2006. Additional information about ticket sales, the venue, game times, and surrounding events and activities will be announced at a later date. Now is the perfect time to plan your first trip to France to go see Wemby and the guys.
That would be awesome,
right?
To see him at his home.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty cool.
510, 73 degrees.
Well, the largest wireless carriers are getting fined for illegally sharing their customers' location information. Up next, what that means for you.
Want to save on summer travel? Who doesn't? Well, up next, why now might be that time to book that summer getaway.
And our friend, the humidity is back this morning, 73 degrees, and looking to a warm day again. We're going to check in with Mike to see what our rain chances will be this week, though. Welcome back. It's 5:14. So if you're looking to save on your summer travel, this may be the week to book it. ABC's Victor Oquendo has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, want to save on summer travel? Now might be the best time to book that getaway.
When traveling internationally, you want to book at least 60 days in advance, and domestic, the sweet spot is usually 45 days. So depending on when you want to travel this summer, you might want to be booking now or pretty soon.
That booking time frame known as the Goldilocks window. Funny name, but the savings are serious, as it's not too early or too late. Some airlines racing for record travel this summer.
Demand for travel is strong, especially intergenerational travel. I recommend, choose the destination where the deals are. So you can spend less on airfare and hotels and spend more at your destination.
And coming up at 7 a.m., more tips from the Points Guy. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Miami.
Time now, 5:15 and 73 degrees for now.
Up next, how you could get thousands of dollars in bonuses for Threads posts that go viral.
And let's look out there with TransGuide looking over at Loop 410 at Ray Ellison Boulevard. Flashing lights over there. We're going to be checking in with RJ Marquez very soon.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because there are people out there who aren't you. A lot of them. And you don't drive like, whoa.
I don't want my child being raised by a robot.
Other drivers are not you.
Yes, thank you so much to all 50 of my subscribers.
Nope, definitely not you. Save with DriveWise and get a rate based on you. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Look at that sweet frosting and filling. That's what makes Pop-Tarts such a great snack.
I sure hope we get eaten soon.
We will. I made a sign.
It's working!
Pop-Tarts!
Crazy good. Sometimes your work shirt needs to be for more than just work. Like when it needs to be a big, soft shoulder to cry on. Which is why Downy does more to make clothes softer, fresher, and better. Downy, breathe life into your laundry.
Tuesday morning, 5:18. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. Wow, we have this bright and early.
Yes, not a great start out there in the roads right now, especially for our drivers on the southwest side of town, the Lackland area. If you're just getting up right now, keep this in mind because we've got a little bit of a situation out there. 410 southbound, that's going to be the access road right there at the old Pearsall Road exit. So the camera we're looking at there is the Ray Ellison camera, which is a little bit further up the road there. And at last check, it looks like crews actually have closed one of the exits to Old Pearsall Road, one exit that's a little bit further up the road at Paradise Valley and close to Medina Base Road and also Ray Ellison Boulevard. So what happened is that a car struck a utility pole, knocked out power to an area or a neighborhood here, the Old Pearsall Road area. It looks like there's about 300 customers that have been affected by this outage right now on the southwest side as we take a look at our maps. And again, not causing any major delays on the highways. That's a good thing. Again, this is on the access road, and based on some of the stuff that I've seen, it looks like The crews are going to be out there for a little while trying to clear this out because it looks like there may have been some power lines that were affected in the area as well. Obviously, knocking out power. The last time I checked the outage map, it looked like they were going to try and restore power before 6 o'clock. But again, crews are on the scene. CPS crews, TxDOT crews taking care of this, and it looks like they have closed the exit there a little bit further up the road due to this crash there in the southbound lanes of 410 at Old Pearsall Road. Let's take a look at the rest of the city. Everything else is looking pretty good for the most part. Still dealing with some ongoing construction on the northeast side. That is back. It looked like yesterday we didn't have to deal with as much of that for our drivers in that area. And there were still reports of a stalled vehicle over on 35 at O'Connor Road. But for the most part, everything else is looking pretty good across the city of San Antonio, with the exception of this incident here on the southwest side. All right, Mike, yesterday was very, I felt the humidity, the stickiness out there. So I see you nodding like.
Oh, yeah. And it did actually drop a little bit in the afternoon. I mean, not bone dry air by any stretch, but, you know, we got a somewhat of a break. That's not going to be the situation today. At least we can sort of make out the skyline a little bit better from our camera down there at Brook City Base, but you can just see that haze kind of hanging over town. And visibility is good in most locations. Hints of, reduced visibility here and there. We're just going to keep an eye on this throughout the course of the morning. Dew point temperatures are actually down a couple of notches compared to this time yesterday morning, but notice how Kerrville out northwest, how dew points went up 13, 14, almost 20, 35 degrees out there at Dryden. Remember, we were talking about that dry line, which was out there to the northwest, and that's tried to work its way in our direction down to the southeast throughout the course of the day. Well, now it has gone away, so all that humidity has invaded the hill country, and it's going to be sticking around. Here's the wind flow over the course of the next couple of days. Dew points remain well up into the 70s. You know, you get around 73, 74 with this, and that's that kind of, I call it window dripping, sort of wet towel humidity. So basically, humidity is not going anywhere, and it's probably going to be getting higher even as time rolls on. There's that little 20% chance for mist, fog around the area this morning, just to be on the lookout for it. A little bit of sunshine. I think we keep a few more clouds hanging around here today, which is going to be keeping temperatures just shy of 90, but we did hit 90 yesterday. And then a stray shower is possible. Not likely. Again, just to mention, the atmosphere is kind of ripe out there, so it doesn't take much to get a couple of showers. Jump ahead to tomorrow, and right around late morning, noontime, just after lunch, we're going to start to see a couple of these showers pop up around the area. And then as we go into the late afternoon, even a few thunderstorms. And some of these storms may be on potentially the strong to severe side. It's not going to be everywhere, but that'll be the case going into tomorrow evening. And then a line's going to work its way through here. It looks like most of these want to stay further up there to the north, but we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go into tomorrow. And then some of those still, Storm Prediction Center has a good chunk of the area under the threat for a, again, strong, severe storm. That's going to be tomorrow, and then the overnight hours into early Thursday morning. Temperatures will be down just a little bit, thanks to some of the extra cloud cover and some of the rain out there. And then it's right back into the upper 80s by Friday. And look at that, Saturday, Sunday, 90, 92 on Monday, mid-90s by the middle of next week.
Ouch.
It's actually a long-range computer model that has us into the hundreds by the end of next week.
What?
So.
Wait. Did you hear that, RJ?
There's grumblings all over the studio.
I mean, that's still a week and a half away, so a lot can change between now and then, but just saying, that's
just
what one
be careful.
model is.
She's a very positive person, but you don't want to make her mad, okay?
I know.
Okay.
We're okay. We'll be all right.
523, 73 degrees.
Let's look at your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3472, Fireball 0, Daily 43417, Fireball 4.
Let's see, Cash 5, 8, 9, 11, 25, 26, Texas two-step 9, 18, 28, 32 with a bonus ball of 3. And Powerball, those are the numbers, and the jackpot's up to $257 million. Mega tonight, Powerball is up to 178. Mega tonight is $257 million. The FCC has fined the largest wireless carriers for illegally sharing customers' location information. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the largest U.S. wireless carriers are vowing to challenge nearly $200 million in fines. The FCC says T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon illegally sold the location data of customers to bounty hunters and other third parties described as shady. Next, OpenAI's memory feature has gone wider. It was only accessible to a small number of users when it was announced in February, but now it is available to most ChatGPT Plus subscribers. Memory helps ChatGPT be more personalized by remembering certain details about users. And Meta is offering creators bonuses if they go viral on Threads. It's part of a new invite-only program and marks the first time Meta has paid for posts on the app. The post must receive at least 2,500 views to receive a bonus. Meta says the feature is still in the testing stage. I'm going to come up with a thread that is so amazing, it'll have you in stitches. Those are your Tech Bites.
Do you think he's put that on his LinkedIn page, like morning anchor at ABC?
And it changes the saying every day?
And then master pun creator.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's pretty good. I think he gets help sometimes.
It's possible. There's a whole team in like a basement at ABC off to the side. 520 with my stapler. 528, 73 degrees.
Up next, how some of our military students in San Antonio are getting some much deserved recognition.
When a domestic violence survivor makes the brave decision to leave, where do they go if shelters are full? Coming up on GMSA at 6, how one organization is helping out. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, April 30th.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And we're back to humidity and heat. Our friend, the humidity.
Yeah, well, maybe your friend.
I was
Not
around.
mine, but yesterday, temperatures, we started off at 70, got up to 90. Those are the averages for the end of May.
Not the beginning.
Not the beginning of May or the end of April. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yep. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule. We got a lot of humidity. You can see all the haze kind of hanging over the skyline there from our camera down at Brook City Base. Temperature right now 72. Dew point is at 70. So a bunch of moisture out there. We had that little break, especially in the hill country. Remember yesterday morning, the dew points were a little bit lower, and some of that dry air tried to work its way towards San Antonio in the afternoon, but that's gone. So the humidity is back and it's here to stay for a while. As far as any fog, we're just seeing a couple of spots with reduced visibility right now, Kerrville, New Braunfels, and Gonzales, but we'll keep an eye out for the rest of the morning because obviously all the moisture out there with these temperatures in the low 70s and dew points upper 60s as well as low 70s. It's only going to get more humid, I hate to say. Mold is on the high side. The updated count's going to come out in a few hours. And throughout the rest of today, 80 at noon, 88 high temperature. Like I said, yesterday we hit 90. I think we stay a degree or two below that just because of the extra cloud cover around here, as well as the extra humidity. Takes a little more energy to heat up the moist air, but still, however you slice it, it's going to be darn hot and humid out there. And like I said, it only gets more hot and humid, yeah, especially hotter in toward the weekend and next week. Also, we've got some rain to talk about, potentially some strong storms. We'll get that all figured out, timeline on that, and take a look ahead to the weekend. First weekend of May coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, got some problems out there, right?
Yes, Mike. Drivers on the southwest side, if you're just getting up right now or if you're about to step outside to maybe head to work a little bit earlier on your Tuesday morning, got a little bit of a situation here. Now, fortunately, this is not on the main lanes of 410. This is actually in the access road. So we're looking at these flashing lights here. That's going to be at the southbound lanes here, 410 at the Old Pearsall Road exit. I'll kind of step out of the way. This is the exit right there, Old Pearsall Road. And we're seeing traffic still get through this area, but what was reported earlier was that a car struck a utility pole. That has knocked out power to that neighborhood along 410, that southbound access road and Old Pearsall Road. At last check, CPS Energy had about 326 customers that were being affected by this crash that happened around 4 o'clock this morning. So crews have been out there for a little bit now, a little bit more than an hour, trying to clear out this incident here because apparently it looked like there may be some power lines that also got along the access road. So again, there's just a lot of things going on at the moment right now. So this is definitely going to be affecting our drivers coming in from the Medina Base area. Obviously, the Lackland area, if you got to be up and out early in the Lackland area, and also the Valley High area, all the way down to Old Pearsall Road and Ray Ellison Boulevard. So we have that exit that's closed there. A little bit further up the road, that would be exit 2 in that area. And again, we will continue to monitor this and give you more updates as we get them. There's also a solid vehicle now being reported I-10 West at Frio Road in the downtown area, but not causing any major delays at the moment in that area. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Now to that deadly attack on law enforcement Monday in Charlotte, North Carolina.
A fugitive task force working with U.S. Marshals was trying to serve a warrant when the chaos began. ABC's Rihanna Nally has an update this morning.
This morning, tragedy striking a community in North Carolina where a fourth law enforcement officer has died of wounds suffered in a shootout.
They lost their lives after they gave us the opportunity to be in a safe place.
Authorities say a U.S. Marshals task force was serving a warrant at a home in Charlotte when the suspect fired at the officers. Neighbors described the mayhem as responding police took over their house.
They used one of our bedrooms to set up a U.S. Marshal sniper in just to get a point.
After police shot and killed the wanted suspect in the front yard, investigators say a second person then fired on the officers from inside the home, where a high-powered rifle was found. A woman and a 17-year-old boy were questioned overnight by police. The Marshals Task Force was made up of federal agents and other officers from the region. A member of the Marshals Service was among the 4 officers killed, along with 2 officers from the State Department of Adult Correction and Charlotte police officer Joshua Iyer, who'd been with the department for 6 years.
He's survived by his wife Ashley and his 3-year-old son Andrew. We'll always be indebted to Officer Iyer for his bravery and his sacrifice for this profession. It was just last month I was in this very room congratulating Officer Iyer for becoming Officer of the Month.
According to the Fraternal Order of Police, this year is on pace to set a record for police officers shot. Rihanna Nally, ABC News, New York.
Been coming out here for years, but unfortunately, I think it's getting out of hand.
We have to do something to keep people from bringing guns in.
Here at home, chaos at Market Square in the final hours of Fiesta de los Reyes. San Antonio Police Chief Wayne McManus giving his own update on a story we've been following closely since it happened early Sunday morning. The update was in the form of a Facebook video answering questions only asked by his staff. So far, SAPD has not responded to KSAT's questions that we asked in the hours after the shooting. In his update, the chief says for next year's Fiesta, people and bags will be checked at Market Square. Police say 18-year-old Mikey Valdez and 20-year-old Albert Cisneros Jr. were shooting at each other in Market Square. Officers say they witnessed Valdez shoot Cisneros. That's when officers shot and killed Valdez. 4 bystanders were also shot but are recovering.
45 years in prison for Katrina Mendoza. She is the mother accused in the 2022 death of her 5-year-old daughter, Mercedes Lozoya. Mercedes died from what's being called extreme physical abuse at the hands of Mendoza and her then boyfriend, Jose Ruiz. After Mendoza was sentenced, a victim impact statement was read to Mendoza by Mercedes' great-grandmother, who read statements from Mercedes' older sister.
Grandma, I don't understand why we didn't leave Jose. Grandma, I am so afraid that my mom will come one day and take me back to Jose's house. I hope that God has mercy upon your life.
Mendoza will have to serve half of her sentence before she is eligible for parole. Now, in response to the sentencing, the Bexar County District Attorney released a statement. It reads in part, quote, "No child should ever experience the pain and agony that Mercedes Lozoya, a 5-year-old little girl, experienced before her death," wrote Bexar County Criminal District Attorney Joe Gonzalez. Now, he goes on that Katrina Mendoza stood by and watched as her daughter suffered. Now she is being held accountable too. Child abuse of any kind has no place in Bexar County, end quote.
This morning, more and more universities across the country are telling pro-Palestine demonstrators their time is up. That's leading to a new wave of arrests and suspensions. Columbia University says protesters may now sign a form promising to abide by school policies or they'll face punishment. Overnight, there are reports of protesters taking over a building at Columbia in response to those school policies. At the University of Pennsylvania, some demonstrators say they're committed to defying a similar order to disband. More broadly, student arrests are surging across the country. Well, the days are getting longer and summer, of course, is getting closer. And that means it's time to think about a vacation.
Well, if you're getting ready to plan that trip, ABC's Tim Polium shows us what you need to keep in mind before finalizing your plans.
If you're ready to book a summer getaway, there's some good news in the travel forecast.
Domestic airfare is below last year's prices and below prices that we saw in 2019. So for those travelers thinking about a summer vacation or a late spring getaway, the prices now are fantastic and you will be able to find a deal.
Haley Berg, lead economist for the travel website Hopper, says that airports should be busy this summer since airline seat capacity is the highest it's been since 2019. But that doesn't mean it will be a chaotic travel season.
There have been huge efficiency gains made in the last 2 years among airports, airlines, and the FAA and air traffic control. So we should not expect the same craze of delays and cancellations that we have seen in some previous summers.
If you're looking for the best deals, here's some tips on when to book.
If you're going somewhere domestically this summer, try to book at least 1 to 2 months in advance. That's when you'll get the lowest price.
And for hotels, it's a mixed bag.
We are expecting that prices this summer, both domestically and abroad, will remain elevated. It's more expensive to stay at a hotel now than it was pre-pandemic. But the good news for travelers is that if you're a little bit flexible, if you can book more at the last minute, there are deals to be found.
Tim Polium, ABC News, Los Angeles.
541, 73 degrees.
After the break, a salute to military students who are making San Antonio proud.
Outside with live cam, plenty of humidity to go around this morning. No doubt about that. Not chilly in the slightest. As we take a live look at some traffic that's starting to pick up out there at one of the busy interchanges here in the metro area. You're watching GMSA. Welcome back, 544. As you can see, and as we all know, San Antonio is Military City, USA.
And some of our military students are getting some much-deserved recognition. So this is video from the Purple Up Pep Rally at Nimitz Middle School. This is a project organized by HEB and the Military Child Education Coalition to celebrate those in the student-to-student program, or S2S. So that's a group that's all about connecting civilian students with military students.
During the course of the whole year, they're learning about leadership, about how to be a better citizen, among other things. But more importantly, they're learning of what they can do beyond their school. This is just another part of that avenue where they're actually involved in something that's bigger than them.
Well, Nimitz Middle School has one of the largest S2S programs in the district, and back in 2022, it was named the Middle School Team of the Year during a conference in Washington, D.C.
Outstanding news. 545, 73 degrees.
Look out there with TransGuide. I saw problems earlier still at Loop 410 at Ray Ellison, but here's a shot there of I-35 at Alamo where things are moving right now. Also moving there, looks at Wurzbach Road. We're going to get a check-in with RJ Marcus very soon.
Right now, we want to get to late-breaking news, an ATM robbery on the north side of town.
So this is happening at Evans and Stone Oak. Our Patty Santos just arrived on the scene. And Patty, what can you tell us about the situation out there?
Yeah, I want to show you what the scene looks like right now. This is at the Chase Bank that's on the corner of Evans Road and Stone Oak Parkway. This is what we know from police. Tell us the alarm from the bank company went off, alerting them that something was happening here, that there was a robbery in progress. When police got here, this is what they found. The ATM literally pulled from the ground and other pieces scattered all over the area. There's still preliminary information about what's happening here, but we know they don't have a suspect information. They've been looking at the cameras in the area to see if they can get any more details on who did this, but they say there is some evidence that shows that there was a blowtorch even used to try and lift this ATM off the ground. Again, this is still all very preliminary information. This just happened about an hour ago, and we're still trying to get more information from police. But as you might remember, this similar incidents were happening last summer here in San Antonio, and I remember police made some arrests in that, but at this point right now they are still looking to find out who might be a suspect in this situation. We're going to continue to stay here and bring you more information as we get it. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Patty. No, guys, we'll stay on top of that situation. Quick updates here on this crash on the southwest side. CPS Energy now reporting that power has been restored to those folks out there on the 410 Old Pearsall Road area. There was a vehicle crash that you could see that officials are still responding to. Struck a utility pole earlier, knocking down some power lines. But again, power has been restored in this neighborhood. Now, the good news is that this is off on the access road of the southbound lanes of 410 at Old Pearsall Road. This is the Ray Ellison camera, but traffic is still getting through that area. Let's show you some other incidents around town because we've been kind of focused on that incident there, southwest side. We have a stall being reported, I-10 westbound at Frio Street, not causing too many delays, but still something for our downtown drivers to keep in mind if you're heading on I-10 west. And we go to the far north side, actually pretty close to where Patty's at right now. 281 northbound at Evans Road, we have a stalled vehicle there on the far north side here, a little bit past Encino Rio, but not causing too many delays at the moment in that area. But we do expect traffic to kind of get a little bit busier as we get closer to our 6 o'clock hour. Biggest sort of slowdowns we're seeing right now, also have a stall 35 at O'Connor Road and still seeing some delays there in that area because of all that ongoing construction there. Topper Wine, Judson, you kind of already know the deal if you live around that area. Just give yourself a little bit more time if you're about to head out on the far northeast side right now. All right, Mike, how are things looking outside this morning?
Very warm and humid. And just to kind of put it in, describe how unstable the atmosphere is in a situation like this when you have all this heat and humidity. There was this rogue storm that popped up yesterday. This is looking down pretty much to the south, to the southeast, right around the southern portion of Wilson County. There was that one cell that popped up, kind of moved in. There was a disturbance that came up from the coastal plain, and this thing just blew up. All of a sudden, a severe thunderstorm warning was issued. It was canceled about 5 minutes later, so it died down that quickly. But it really doesn't take much to get these going with this warm, humid air that's very, very unstable. All right, speaking of humidity, you can see how it's just that haze hanging over the city. We don't have much in the way of fog right now, but we've got to keep an eye on it over the course of the next couple of hours. There may be, again, a little fog, a little mist, drizzle, perhaps a sprinkly shower out there. That's why that 20% chance that I got posted. 80 at noon today, and then 88 for a high temperature. We did hit 90 yesterday. I think a few more clouds, a little more in the way of humidity is going to keep temperatures down a degree or two. But no matter how you slice it, it's going to be hot out there. Here's a computer model going into tomorrow. And again, a few of those showers pop up in the afternoon, then a few thunderstorms, and things are going to blow up quite easily like what happened last evening. And that's why we do have the chance for some of those to be strong, potentially severe again tomorrow. High winds and hail will be the biggest threat, and this is going to last overnight into early Thursday morning, and then those will move on out. But again, Storm Prediction Center does have us with that very small risk for a couple of those storms. Now, one thing to note, all the activity, the main flow of the jet is way up there to the north. We don't have any big storm systems, no big troughs coming in here, no lows, but it doesn't take much. We've got all this moisture, this southwesterly flow, and you get these little disturbances moving on through here, and that's why we get some of these showers and thunderstorms to pop up, again, which is going to be the case, especially tomorrow. Maybe a stray shower today, but again, tomorrow, especially in the afternoon, and then tomorrow night, early Thursday, shower storms, potentially strong or severe. Back to the upper 80s Friday, a stray shower or two. Same thing Saturday. Look at that, 90s over the weekend, 92 Monday. Don't know if you want to see what it's looking like for the middle part of next week. We're looking at some mid-90s for high temperatures and plenty of humidity. More after this.
KSAT is making the switch to the next big thing in local broadcasting. We'll be live on Next Gen TV starting this coming Monday. If you're wondering what that means, we have the answers. Watch our latest episode of KSAT Explains right now to learn everything you need to know about this switch. Hey, get your tickets now for the first ever Texas Eats Food Festival. It will be May 11th at Smoke Barbecue. 20 local chefs will be there with food for you to sample. The event benefits the San Antonio Food Bank. Scan the QR code on your screen right now or go to texaseatstv.com for more information. Well, ahead in the next hour of GMSA, fallout continues after last weekend's deadly shooting at Market Square during Fiesta. What we've learned since about that night. Plus, we'll look at an organization that's helping domestic violence survivors find safe places to stay across the state. And checking TransGuide. Looks like RJ's on the phone with TransGuide right now. We'll find out what the update is for situations around town. We'll check back in with you coming up at the top of the hour.